Good evening, friends. Today I want to share from Genesis chapter 21 verses 5 and 6. I've been thinking about how God's promises sometimes take time to fulfill. And I just want to read real quick. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God has made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And it's important to understand. So Abraham was 100 years old. Now we all know the story, like it was impossible, right, for them to have this child. God waited until there was no other explanation besides miracle, okay? But God told Abraham, actually his name wasn't even Abraham yet, his name was Abram. God told Abram that he was going to have a son by Sarah when he was 75 years old. Okay, so now he's 100 years old. So that means that God promised Abraham that he would have a child 25 years earlier than this. Okay? Okay? So, if you think about, I feel like if God was to tell us in the very beginning, whenever we get our hopes up about something, or we have this vision, or God tells us or promises us something, if He was to tell us that it was going to be 25 years later, I don't think that we would, I don't think we would make it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't, you know? But He, in His mercy and in His grace and in His kindness, He doesn't tell us always exactly when things are going to happen, but He does reassure us that it's going to happen, and it's our responsibility to not get caught up on when. Okay, we just need to focus on the assurance that whatever God has told us He's going to do is guaranteed. It's only a matter of time. And when we get distressed and we get disheartened and we get discouraged um, and we just really just want to give up, um, we just have to remember that whatever God says He's going to do it. And it's more important, even if it's 25 years, it is so much more important to wait 25 years for God than to make your own way and go your own way and harden your heart and turn away from the Lord and miss out on the promise. You would be extremely bummed out if you didn't just wait for God and you actually and you took matters into your own hands and you try to make your own way. And even Abraham, he did take matters into his own hand. His wife was deceived, and they Hagar got pregnant and had Ishmael, and you know, God still had mercy on them, because they were confused. They just couldn't comprehend how God could make this happen. So God is merciful, He's good, and He's compassionate to us. As long as we're acting in ignorance and blindness, and we think we are deceived by the enemy to think that that God has provided us with this other option. You know what I mean? But if God says He's going to give you a son or whatever, by this wife, and you know, that's what He means. That's what He meant to Abraham. It's just we don't have to try and figure out what God's trying to say. We just have to trust what He said and trust that He's going to bring it to pass in His timing. Amen.